Hey, what's going on, guys? I am back. We got a video about the 10 rules about Dropshot. So I was looking through the trailer, which we will do here, as well as looking through a lot of the articles that have been written. And basically, I was looking through like to figure out what rules they haven't talked about themselves, Psyonix, and see if those are true or not. So I also verified all of these with Psyonix. So these are definitely official. I've seen a lot of mistakes being made across pretty much everywhere about certain scenarios in Dropshot and kind of just getting it wrong. So let's just go over the trailer and we'll talk about it. First off, the first thing that I want to talk about is like right after the start of the trailer. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Let's start over. So we got volleyball mode that was in the game for a while there. And basically, volleyball was not very fun, Psyonix said, so they wanted to try and come up with something that was volleyball-esque, but still worked, and that's where they came up with Dropshot. And, of course, they added the brick breaker element, and I think it looks like a phenomenal mode. I can't wait to get my hands on it, but they tried volleyball, was not fun, so they decided to go with a cooler, more fitting game mode, I guess, for the Rocket League universe. One other thing that we haven't seen, which is not really in the trailer either, is that the game is still 5-minute games. It is still a normal game. It's not like one goal wins or anything like that. So it is your normal type of game here where you just play 5 minutes, like each team scores on one another until you have a winner. Then they'll be in overtime and so forth. Which brings me to my next point, that the games will actually be pretty close because the field resets actually, we'll just do it like that, I guess. The field resets only for the team that got scored on. So say it's a really close game. Both sides have barely any tiles left. And finally, orange scores on blue. The orange side is still going to be completely barren and have lots of holes on their field, while the blue side will go back to normal. So then it's up to the orange side to try and whittle down some damage before probably eventually getting scored on. So kind of more of like if you think of Smash or something, where you're down a stock, but his damage is still obviously the same. So think of it like that. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. It'll keep games pretty close. And, yeah, so that should be a good time. Next one is throughout this entire trailer, which I haven't gotten into yet. But again, you can't really see it throughout the trailer. We'll see it as we go. I guess we'll just do that. We'll just do boosts on recharge. So, boosts on recharge, there is no pickups on the map at all, and it's just based on you getting boost back. Now, I'm not sure exactly how it works. Right now, in the mutators, they have a boost recharge mechanic, but if you use boost, it immediately stops, and it waits another 3 seconds or so before it starts to recharge again. So I'm not sure exactly if it's going to be the same system as they do for mutators, but boost will be on recharge. Hopefully, it's just a constant trickle, and you continually get boost, even if you're using it so you don't get punished by just tapping the boost here or there. That one, I'm just not sure of exactly how the recharge works. Next up, we got hoops style kickoff. So this is shown right at the start of the trailer, which we'll get into right here. Go back here. So right after they show the ball, we don't need sound. Right after they show the ball, you see how the ball pops up for a kickoff, and that is the normal kickoff. I think they show it one more time throughout this trailer, but that's how the kickoffs will start in Dropshot. So if you don't like hoop-style kickoffs, you're going to have to get used to them, because that's how we're going to be playing this style of game. Next up, tiers of ball damage. So this is the one I see a lot of people making mistakes on. So there's 3 tiers of ball damage, which I think was in the article itself, so I'm not really talking about that. So this one is needed for the 2-liner. So tiers of ball damage is based on the power that the ball is hit at and not based on touches. So you can't just dribble the ball around. We can see it kind of here. It's kind of hard to show. But right here, we see the ball kind of bouncing around, and then right there, that hit right there, he puts a lot of power behind it, and it amplifies the ball to the second stage. There's 3 stages in total. If you didn't know, the first stage, it just looks like a normal ball, and that takes off 1 tile. The second stage does a circle around that tile for a total of 7, and then the third stage is 2 circles around the original tile, which is, I believe, 19 tiles. So, but it's based on power, so you can't just dribble the ball or pass it lightly back and forth to teammates to power up the ball. It's more about how hard you hit the ball. So keep that in mind as you're playing. Like, it's not going to be like the ball sitting on top of your hood and then you get 3, like the 3rd tier of damage. So keep that in mind. I've seen a lot of people get that wrong pretty much everywhere. So just be aware. Be aware that's how that one's going to work. Now, right after this, we're going to see the ball actually roll on the floor. As we can see, right after that one breaks away. Right here, you see how the ball's rolling on the floor, and that's why none of the tiles got damaged. If we go back a bit here. The blue side hits it back over to the orange side, but since the ball is rolling, it doesn't actually do damage to any of the tiles. The ball actually has to drop from a certain height. It is not based on the downward velocity. It's just based on how high it has fallen from. So keep that in mind when you're playing, that you can't just roll the ball across the field and activate all the tiles throughout. So let's see. Ball must drop from a certain height to activate a tile. This will also be too long because, you know, that's how these things work. So keep that in mind. We see it at the end of the trailer, actually, too. I believe it's, let's see, right when they're announcing the date of it. Right after this goal, see how it's bouncing? Like, that's about the height that you need. So that's almost a double jump's worth, maybe a single jump at the peak of it. But that's basically how much you need to make the ball count as a hit. Now, this floor dropping out, I think that's more just for cinematic purposes, because that seemed like it didn't hit that tile. Didn't seem to make much sense. But that's about the height you'll need for it to activate a tile. And of course, if it's a tier 2 ball or a tier 3 ball, it'll still do its full damage. It doesn't matter how fast it's going at that time. It's just how much power is stored in the ball itself. So that's something to note, that you can't just roll it around everywhere and get all the tiles for free. Next up, the broken floor is drivable. We're about to fall off our little sheet here, but the broken floor is drivable, as well as the whole field is drivable. So volleyball, obviously, there is, you can't drive on the other side of the field. Psyonix didn't want that to limit it. So obviously, everyone can drive everywhere on this field, and this is shown around the 38-second mark. So let's go over there. Right after this, we'll see right here, look, we can see the blue and red cars both on the same side of the field, both driving on the floor, as you can see here. And then the ball obviously falls down the hole. Now, the last thing that we don't really see in this trailer, because I think blue just barely saves this ball here, but even if blue touches this ball right here, if he would hit that down or at least hit it on the floor, that ball would still fall into his hole. So that's the last little rule, I guess you would say, for drop shot. This one's a little bit of a long one because we'll see if it all fits on here. Probably not, though. Might have to go even more. Look at this. We're going crazy here. All right, let's see. Let's see if we can fit it. But basically, the ball will not activate a blue tile if the ball is blue activated. Will still fall through a hole, though. I don't know how to really word this, but we'll try it. Team color can't activate team tile, but can fall through hole. There we go. Look at me. Doing it on the fly. But yeah, so say that blue car there actually hits it down. That ball would still fall into your goal. You can't just like tap it right above your hole and defend it and have the ball drop right next to you. The ball will still fall through the hole and you will still get scored on. So keep that in mind. It is good to defend against tiles that are not activated yet or are only 1 activation in. Of course, the tiles have 3 activation levels, kind of the same as the ball. Like everything's 3. So you see how this tile right here is pretty light. We'll do it with the mouse over here. Actually, you probably can't even see that. But the tile on the right is blue, but it has like white lights coming off of it. That means it's on the second tier of activation. The tile right behind it is just blank, and that means it hasn't been activated at all yet. So that's like the 3 ways it goes. Is basically it's blank, it's activated once, and then it turns into a hole. So keep that in mind as you're playing this game. Like honestly, I cannot wait for Dropshot. This mode looks absolutely awesome. Whoever designed this, well done, because this looks like a really cool mode, a really cool version of a volleyball kind of a slash breakout, and completely changes the game. There's no goals on the map, obviously. It's all based on the floor, so it's going to have a lot of weird dynamics and no boost pickup, so you don't have to worry about driving all the way to the corners to grab some boost. So should be really interesting to see how this plays out. I hope we can also use mutators on it. I'm not sure. I did not ask Psyonix about that, but all these other facts that I have on here, it's a little bit hard to read, but whatever. You guys can read. I know my fans are smart. Come on now. They are all Psyonix confirmed. Like I went over to them after watching the trailer, after reading articles, just to check on these because I didn't want to get anything wrong. So I've seen a lot of misinformation, like especially about the tiers of ball damage. Like a lot of people think it's based on touches, but it is not. It's based on the power of the touch. So keep that in mind, guys, as you're playing on the first day, as you're mopping up the matchmaking, or if you're just playing with friends and you want to show off. But yeah, that'll do it for this video. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Or we'll see you on the field. I think it's called like Core 22 or something. I'm not even sure what the field's called, but we'll be playing some Dropshot, that's for sure. Later, guys.